where can I find like an older queer mentor to ask all the questions to that I need navigating? And I was like, well, you found us. That's perfect.
Hi, you're listening to the QT podcast, where we break down barriers, celebrate successes, and discuss actionable strategies for queer professionals to succeed and lead in the tech ecosystem. My name's Courtney, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm the producer of the QT podcast. Thank you so much for listening. In this episode, we're drawing from the QT research report's findings on the queer experience of gaining and retaining employment in tech. We'll be looking at actionable strategies for 2S LGBTQ+ professionals in tech, whether you're transitioning from a different field, kickstarting your career, or looking to elevate your current path in order to skill up, build a network, find mentorship or mentee, vet potential companies, ask the right questions during an interview, and more. These tips and tricks will come from our community stories, as well as from workshops that have occurred at QueerTech events over the last few years. If you're a member of the queer community and you want to join this conversation or access our employment empowerment resources, visit QueerTech.org. The tech industry, a beacon of innovation and progress, is supported by a diverse array of talented professionals. And while this is true, widespread and equitable queer professional success is still hindered by a blend of historic and contemporary discrimination. Despite strides towards equality, queer individuals encounter unique barriers that limit their access to tech careers and impede their career progress. These obstacles range from overt discrimination to more insidious biases that sway hiring practices and shape workplace cultures, contributing to the significant underrepresentation of queer professionals in STEM fields and education. Despite these challenges, we believe that a queer professional's greatest strength is queerness. The 2S LGBTQ+ community is an immense group of unique perspectives across many different intersections of experiences, and the sometimes hard-won knowledge and talent are career assets in the right situations. And finding the right situation is an important part of the career puzzle. Queer individuals often navigate the delicate balance between fitting in and belonging. The courage to be oneself, even in the face of potential discrimination, is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the queer community. Alena, Papayanis, who I spoke with at the QT conference, had this insight to share about the balance of fitting in and belonging.
My name is Alena Papayanis, and my pronouns are she, her. You know, the difference between fitting in and belonging. It's like fitting in is when you change yourself to fit in to the circumstance, the people in the room, the group, whatever. Whereas belonging, it involves not compromising who you are and just being yourself. So for the sake of belonging, you might end up alone, but you're authentic. So there's like a different, more fundamental kind of freedom that you can get from being yourself, even if it means you stand out from the crowd and don't, quote unquote, fit in. And people in their careers are going to find themselves in that situation where they have to say, okay, how much of myself can I be right now? Like, can I be my authentic self in this room full of maybe straight people, maybe homophobic people, maybe they don't know? And so it's a constant navigation we do to perform and figure out how authentic we can be to ourselves, or for the sake of career or whatever, or just comfort or safety even, if we have to dial back who we are and just find our allies where we know we're safe and we can be ourselves.
Being ourselves can be a risk, and in the right situation, it can also be a reward, personally and professionally. So let's dive into a series of stories from queer and ally professionals I spoke with at Q2Q about how queer lived experience and authenticity can positively shape one's career and be an irreplaceable asset to your team.
Hi, my name is Zhané Stimpson. My pronouns are she, they. My 9 to 5, I'm the Associate of Youth Engagement at Wealthsimple. And outside of that, I'm an actor, model, content creator, and I'd like to say somewhat of a community champion. I am very fortunate that being queer has not affected me in a negative way in any of my roles. I've gotten many opportunities for being queer, for being able to, connect with a queer audience. It's helped me get the job I have now. It's helped me make a bunch of connections on LinkedIn. It got me like my acting. It got me into modeling. Like being queer as an identity hasn't been a barrier to me because I choose not to make it a barrier. I try to surround myself with people I know will support me, will help me through things, and will push me to do better. So I think being queer is my superpower.
Hi, everyone. My name is David Cardon. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm currently the Chief Operating Officer of Morgan Stanley in Montreal. And I'm also happy to say that this year is my 26th year as an HIV positive individual. Being queer is central to my professional identity. I wouldn't say that it has always been central to my professional identity, but certainly in the last 10 years or so, it's been a very, very big part of my professional identity. And what I'm happy to say is that it's never been a hindrance. It's only been an asset. Maybe it's a stereotype, but some of us queers end up being relied upon for new ideas. And I like having that kind of positive pressure, being the person who has had a very different life experience than most of the other people in the room, and to be able to execute on my perspective and my vision. And I feel very, very fortunate for most of the companies that I worked for to have been appreciated for that kind of value that I bring to the organization.
I'm Florencia Herra Vega. Flo is shorter and easier. My pronouns are she, her. And I have a sort of strange job, which has two hats and is very long to say, so I'm just going to go for it. So I am partner and CTO for AliCorp, which is a New York City-based early stage VC and venture studio. There's another element that I consider to be sort of a superpower that queerness gives me. I am somewhat jaded and critical. Being queer and being otherwise potentially marginalized in various situations has made me have this sense of like things being wrong in the world. And I think that critical eye, in combination with some of the specific, maybe hard technical skills and business skills that I've learned over the years, I think that's a really valuable skill. And I think it's one that one hones particularly well if one is coming from a marginalized group.
Hi, I'm Lisa Gibson. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a communications executive with Microsoft, a proud ally and member of the QueerTech board.
Hi, I'm just jumping in to call out this career change since Lisa and I spoke a couple of months ago. That after 8 years at Microsoft as the chief of staff and head of communications, Lisa decided to start her own business and is now the president and founder of Ignite Communications. So congratulations, Lisa.
I think organizations really benefit from having diverse workforces. They really benefit from having people who feel comfortable showing up as their authentic self. And I just think at the end of the day, it benefits both the individual, it benefits the community, and it really does benefit the tech industry and organizations across Canada.
Hi, my name is Meagan Simpson. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a manager of communications at the Ontario Centre of Innovation, or OCI. I'm a bi woman living in Toronto. I work in the tech ecosystem there, and I actually didn't come to full realization of my queerness until the last few years. And for me, the most important thing that I can do, while I might not feel like I've been affected in my career, maybe in negative ways, but I do feel like I create space for others that might not know. And just being able to speak up and say, hey, I'm part of the queer community too. That's super important to me. Being a manager of people, being a leader in the tech ecosystem is leading with empathy and making sure that we're kind of creating space for everyone who needs it, regardless of who you love, how you love, or why you love.
Well, my name is Joseph Gabereau. My pronouns are he, him. I am a solutions analyst, which means I'm a developer working with SAP. I would also say that I'm a member of Wegohoma First Nation. I'm a queer Montrealer, and I'm a raver, also a goth. My interest in technology stems from my creative endeavors with synthesizers, which is a very gay instrument. Clearly, once I started to kind of look behind these technologies, see how they worked, is what informed my decision to kind of pursue a career in technology. Other than that, like fashion is expensive. I can't buy the clothes I need on an artist's income. So I would say that was a pretty big factor.
All of these stories tell us that queerness is not only an identity, a community, but also a professional asset. When we hear these stories, it's important to remember that chances for success increase when we find the right environment. Unfortunately, there are professional situations that are not ideal for queer people. In the QT research report, when participants were asked by the research team, 35.6% of respondents identified that they have, or suspect that they have, experienced discrimination in the interview process within the technology sector. To counteract this, we advocate for our partner organizations to ensure that their interview panels reflect a diverse composition, especially including members from underrepresented communities. This strategy is aimed at reducing the risk of discrimination. Furthermore, we encourage recruiters to adopt and refine their processes to more actively seek out and support diverse candidates with greater frequency and intentionality. While there are companies who strategically apply equitable hiring and culture initiatives, there are also, unfortunately, many who do not. Queer people have always developed ways to work within unfair systems. So, to find a safe space to work, job-seeking members of the queer community have been finding ways to sort out what companies are safe spaces for them to grow and which, potentially, are not. The QT research participants emphasize that companies should engage with queer spaces and intentionally promote tech job opportunities within them. David Cardon had this to add about the benefits of networking.
Your network is a very powerful part of the way that your career progresses. You make a connection at a conference like this that could eventually lead you to increase your skill set, or it could lead you to maybe your next job, or it could maybe lead you to your next side gig, whatever. These kinds of conferences are amazing spaces for people to connect with each other, share ideas, and develop together as professionals.
I connected with David for this conversation at the QueerTech conference. The QueerTech conference is our largest networking event of the year. In 2022, the first conference was held in Toronto. And then in 2023, where I had this conversation with David, it was in Montreal. Now, I highly recommend, if you're a professional in the 2S LGBTQ+ community who is working in tech or looking to work in tech, to visit queertech.org and learn more about the QueerTech conference there.
Where can I find like an older queer mentor to ask all the questions to that I need navigating? And I was like, well, you found us. That's perfect.
One of the benefits of participating in networking events is that you can connect with people who are potential mentors or mentees. In the QT research report, participants were asked what can help companies connect with queer talent. And mentorship was mentioned frequently as a need by both potential and current employees. One of the many benefits of mentorship is that it can serve as a bridge to the tech industry for those who are unaware of opportunities available. This can be important because a significant amount of opportunities never make it onto job boards. Now, I want to go to a conversation that I had with Laura B. McDonald at the QT conference, where they share with us the important role that mentorship played in their career journey.
I think being queer has had both a positive impact on my career and sometimes been something that I realized was perhaps creating blockages, and I had to find my way around that. So when I decided to become a professional, that was a really big change from the world that I grew up in, and I didn't know how to be a professional. There's an entire world of language and practices that you don't learn in schools. People have to tell you how it works, and that's why mentorship is so important. A mentor helps you move through your career and navigate the unsaid things. You know, they sponsor you. They don't just explain to you how to move forward. They push you forward. But like attracts like, which means that oftentimes, unfortunately, mentors, whether consciously or unconsciously, choose people who kind of reflect themselves, that they relate to, which sometimes means that if you're in a really straight, dominated profession or workplace, that it's really hard to find a mentor, and then your career can stagnate. But once I realized that that was happening to me, then I was able to strategize around it. I had to find a mentor like to like. And when I found a mentor who saw in me a reflection of her, we were able to create a really good bond. And it was amazing to have somebody who understood where I was coming from so that they could help me navigate the professional world from where they saw that I was, understanding where I was from experience and helping me move to where I wanted to be.
Mentorship can facilitate easier access to tech roles, and mentors can give feedback on CVs, help with skill development and interview preparation, and just as importantly, like Laura mentioned, help people understand the unspoken rules of work. Great mentorship can be a significant part of one's growth. However, finding a mentor in the queer community can be challenging. One of the key ways to find that mentor is, again, to network.
I'm very, very proud to be a part of the QueerTech community because it provides a focal point for those of us who have careers in technology, whether we're new to the industry, mid-career, or executive level. This is the kind of conference that brings all of that amazing talent together to be queer and not have to worry about all of our other considerations that we typically have in our professional lives. We're here to be free, open, and connect with each other as a queer community in technology. It's super important.
Building your network and meeting mentors is important. And at QueerTech, we're working to organize the process of connecting mentors with mentees. So if you're either looking to become a mentor to someone in the queer community, or if you're looking for mentorship, again, visit queertech.org. And if you're early career, you have the opportunity to access the tech industry with the QT Access program. I'm going to pass this off to my colleague Zoe to speak all about the QT Access program.
Hi, hello, my name is Zoe David Delves, and I'm the program manager of the QueerTech Access to Tech program, or QT Access for short. So let me tell you about why we made QT Access in the first place. So as trans and queer people, systemically, we're already at a disadvantage in the workplace, right? We're statistically more likely to struggle with imposter syndrome, less likely to be hired for mid to senior roles, less likely to have mentors, and so on and so forth. And if you occupy other marginalized identities, like being a person of color or living with a disability or anything else, the job search is increasingly more difficult. In the tech industry, especially with it being famously dominated by white cis hetero men, and there being layoffs left, right, and center right now, we need a bit of a safe space. So QT Access is designed to firstly increase your quote-unquote soft skills, large scare quotes there because all skills are valuable, to boost your confidence in this competitive job market and give you access to a network of other trans and queer professionals in a sometimes hostile environment that is the tech industry. Sessions take place on Tuesday evenings after work, and our curriculum includes sessions on creating a career vision for yourself, i.e. going past surviving into thriving, which is a luxury that we sometimes don't allow ourselves enough of, creating a cover letter and CV workshop, of course, how to present yourself for an interview to increase your chances of getting the job, and more skills on the same kind of thing about how to navigate yourself in the job market. The differentiator between us and other programs is that we talk about all of these things with the lens of being trans and queer. We want for our participants to emerge with a sense of resilience. The job search can be hard on your heart, and we don't want to understate that. But what we want to try to instill in participants is that even though it's hard, one, you will get something in your field that you like, that contributes to your vision of your professional future. And two, when the going gets rough, you should know that you have a community to fall back on that will support you. We pair folks with very eager mentors who will meet with participants for a few weeks after the program ends. And most of our sessions are led by industry experts who are either trans, queer, or strong allies that we encourage folks to connect with after the end of the program. Visit queertech.org/page/access for more information, or email us at access@queertech.org for any comments or questions. We're always looking for mentors and speakers, so feel free to sign up today.
Okay, so let's begin to move into more granular tips and tricks on how to find work. Statistically, the best places to find opportunities that turn into interviews are job boards. QueerTech.org has a job board with all of our partners companies, but obviously there are many, many different places where you can find job boards and open job opportunities. And then when you find an open position, you can send in your CV, your cover letter, and apply. But your chances of landing an interview increase when you're able to build a connection with that company. One of the things you can do to build these connections, obviously attending networking events is one, but there are a few places where you can build these connections online as well. And our digital community is one place.
Hi there, I'm Andy, the COO and co-founder of QueerTech, and my pronouns are he, him. I'm excited to take this opportunity to tell you about QueerTech's digital community. The QueerTech digital community is a safe virtual space for 2S LGBTQ+ people who work with or have an interest in technology. In the digital community, members can connect, share experiences, and learn best practices. The community promotes diversity, equity, and inclusion in the tech industry, empowering members to achieve their goals and drive change. Learn more about our services and events at queertech.org.
So I want to hand this off to Dolapo Fadare, a startup founder and tech sales professional who led a workshop called The Space for Everyone, about finding a role in tech that is non-technical. Although I think that this advice can help people who are looking for technical roles as well.
Oftentimes, if you just Google product manager Slack community groups, you will get a list of a number of them. And the great thing about these Slack groups or community is you can then reach out for informational interviews with people that are in existing roles. In terms of Slack community groups, some of them are for PM, women of color in tech, Rev Genius, which is more on the revenue generating side, design out in tech. So these are a few examples that you can use to see who can I connect with. But more importantly, they also usually have a job channel. So you can actually find job opportunities on there. Now, how to leverage these online communities. Sometimes people have mentioned that now LinkedIn, everybody gets requests, but you can actually customize your notes to say, hey, saw that you were on this XYZ Slack community. I would love to connect. That already provides a bridge where it's more of a warm ask than a cold ask.
And let's move along to the next step. After you find opportunities via job boards and communities, how do you research a company further? At QTQ, Brent Carvery, the People and Culture Coordinator at Behavior Interactive, and Jennifer Dell, VP of Operations at CloudKettle, shared their methods for assessing a company from the outside to uncover if it's the right place for them.
You're in an opportunity where you have the time to look and search for the next move. Lots of things you need to look for. Checking out their website. What does their website look like? Do they talk about DEI work? Are they named one of the best places to work for women, for minorities? Look for those things on their website. Even look at their social medias. Look at their workplace events. What does the makeup of the office look like? Is that photo just a bunch of white guys in the photo? That might give you a good indication of what that workplace looks like. So you can go deeper and really look for that stuff to see whether or not this is a place that is going to represent you, you're going to feel safe in, that you can actually see yourself flourishing there.
So I'll start with the obvious ones, the online resources. It's Glassdoor, checking out feedback from previous employees, from current employees. What have people had to say about working here? Indeed is very similar. And then my ultimate favorite place to figure out what the company is like is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a gold mine of ideas. For example, when you go and you look up the senior leadership of that company, do they use their pronouns? Right? Do they have anything that talks about diversity or inclusion on their thing? What sort of posts are they sharing? And again, if you go next level, what sort of posts are they liking, commenting on? What are the photos that are in there? Look at all the employees that work there. For the employees, do they mention their pronouns in their things? What are they liking? What are they posting?
Check out who their board of directors are. That board of directors is the people guiding this company to the next level. Is it a diverse board? Because that shows that this company chose a board of diverse people because they know it's important. They know that those different viewpoints, those different experiences are going to add to their company and make sure it's successful.
And then the last resource that we're going to suggest to you for how you can help choose the company is professional organizations. So even companies, like QueerTech, you can see what companies work with them, what companies are their sponsors, and you already know right away that those are likely going to be safe places for you. So if you're able to find an opportunity that is listed and referenced and affiliated with organizations like QueerTech, that's a good indication. When you're looking for a job, we kind of feel like we don't have the power. We want them to pick us, but what we're encouraging you to do is make sure that you are picking them.
As much as they might say this, they need you just as much as you need them. This is a give and take relationship. They can't do work if they don't have employees. And so you have the right, and you should look into this and make sure you're making those informed decisions.
And at the interview stage, it's a great opportunity to find even more about a company's culture. Back to Brent and Jennifer.
Just as much as they're interviewing you, you are interviewing them. Yep. And you have every right to ask questions. You have every right to ask, hey, what is your diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies? What are you working on? Do you have an inclusion committee? Do you have employee resource groups? They should be prepared to answer those. And it's very telling if they look like a deer in the headlights and don't know how to answer that.
Give yourself the best chance to find an environment that is going to be supportive and really allow you to shine and bring your best self. Yes, I'll ask about their diversity and inclusion policies, but I'll also do things like, talk to me about your leadership team. What is their makeup? How do they identify? Can you tell me any success stories of other LGBT community members that exist in your company and what success looks like for them?
These tips and tricks can help you find out more about an organization's culture and give you the context needed to make informed career decisions. By doing this research, we can find out if a company has 2S LGBTQ+ visibility in the workplace, And it also gives us some insight into the company's diversity, equity, inclusion, and HR policies. All of this information can give queer professionals the information they need to have a strong idea if whether or not they will belong in a company's culture. I want to leave you with one last interview that I really enjoyed with Leigh Schmidt.
Hi, my name is Leigh Schmidt. My pronouns are she, her, comfortable with all pronouns. I am working towards a data science certificate. So I'm studying data science to be a data scientist, hopefully eventually machine learning one day. And I love colors. So I think being queer has played a role in my career trajectory in the sense that I feel like queer people are so multifaceted and interested in so many things. And I don't mean like, oh, the whole community is interested in a wide range of things, but like, I feel like each individual has a wide range of interests. And I feel like that's just really played into me being open to trying everything. And, you know, like I have a hospitality background. I was a waitress. And then I studied translation. And now I'm like studying math, which is like totally opposite side of the spectrum. So I just think I feel like being queer has also made me like just try to always test the limits and not be afraid to try things and not be afraid to be open with who I am and say, yes, I like 8 million things, but like, hey, that's who I am. And it's so easy to like go into a new career and like have career shame because like you don't have experience and you're 33 or 35 or whatever. But it's not that you don't have experience. You have professional experience, you have life experience. And so, yeah, I just feel like it's kind of giving me the confidence to just try what works until I find like what speaks to my soul.
So if you're looking for a safe space to grow community, find mentorship and support, definitely visit QueerTech.org, and we'll see you at our meetups, at the conference, and any of our other activities going on throughout the year. Thank you again for tuning in. I just want to leave you with the reminder that whether you're looking for mentorship, aiming to expand your professional network, or seeking a new opportunity where you can truly be yourself, the key is to find the right environment that not only accepts, but celebrates your queerness. The QT podcast is supported by the Canadian Media Fund, so thank you so much to the CMF. In the next episode, we're going to be having a lot of great conversations about leadership, so definitely tune in.